Welcome to LoyalTV. This week, we take to the Oklahoma skies to learn about the women who were trailblazers in the field of aviation.
I feel like the organization of the 99s was huge for women, especially looking at the time, women gaining the right to vote, cutting their hair short, wearing pants, entering these new fields. I feel like female aviators represented all of these new concepts for women. Even now, women in aviation are a small percentage, and a lot of these stories go untold. The 99s was founded in 1929, and it came about after the first all-women's air derby race from Santa Barbara, California to Cleveland, Ohio. As these women completed this race, they decided that they needed to form a group to represent women in aviation. At the time, there were 118 women who had their pilot's licenses. They reached out to all of them, 99 responded, and so these were the 99s. They met at the Curtis Hangar in Valley Stream, New York on November 2nd, 1929, and they had a tea party out of a mechanic's cart, and this was the first meeting of the 99s. Now has over 155 chapters across the world in 30 countries and over 5,000 members. Some of the early notable members in the 99s, Amelia Earhart is probably the most recognizable. Louise Thaden, who won the 1929 Women's Air Derby. Moving forward a little bit, we had the members of the Mercury 13, so Jerry Cobb, Wally Funk, and even presently, we have women across the world, and moving into the future, the 99s is always focusing on the future generation. A main way that they are doing that is through their scholarship programs, encouraging young women to enter the field themselves. Whenever I was about 4 years old, I remember my mother telling me the story of Jerry Cobb, because she was also, a girl from Oklahoma, but her story and testing for the Mercury 13 has always been something that stuck with me. At the same time that NASA was testing the men of the Mercury 7 to send them to space, there was a comparable test that was run on a group of 13 women who became known as the Mercury 13, and they went through the exact same tests that these astronauts did. Because at the time women could not serve in the military, they were not considered to be test pilots in the same sense that we think of Chuck Yeager and those who were working to break the sound barrier and those who moved on in the early Mercury tests. So the women, they were test pilots. Jackie Cochran, who led the WASPs, the Women Air Service Pilots during World War II, she was the first woman to break the sound barrier. She was instrumental in saying that there needed to be a test group of women to do these same things that NASA was testing men for. Bessie Coleman was an Afro-Cherokee woman from Texas. She was simultaneously the first African-American woman and Indigenous American woman to receive her pilot's license. And unfortunately, at the time, she received her license in 1927, and as a result of Jim Crow laws in the United States, she had to go to France to receive her license. Whenever we talk about Bessie Coleman, I think that her story reflects a lot of why people enter the field of aviation. And a quote from her, she said that the air is the only place free of prejudice. And so I feel like that even now is what really draws people into this field, because it's freeing. It makes me very proud to be here and to represent this organization and to know that I am preserving these stories and artifacts that represent this group and this history. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Thanks for joining us for this flight through time. Come back next week as we continue to tell you the best Oklahoma stories you've never heard.